James, Jordan, thanks for joining us on this mountain in West Gossie.
Thanks for having us on the mountain.
You're in a pretty epic band called WINTERBOURNE from the Central Coast. Let's wind it back a bit. How did you guys meet? Like music, come on, both of you meeting. When did it happen?
Yep, we met in 2007. Yep. At school at St Edward's down the hill, down the mountain. And we were just friends, and then we had a shared interest in music and had both started playing guitar at the same time, and I went to his guitar teacher, and it sort of all just bloomed out of mutual music love, and then we started writing together after that, and it's just been a long sort of journey since then.
And you said the band, it's pretty much been the same with just different names?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's been us too.
Yeah. Did you ever trial someone else?
Yeah, I remember walking around at lunchtime saying we need a lead singer.
Yeah.
And we had two other friends, and one of them sort of started singing. But no one officially ever made it in.
Cut
So
them out.
it was literally writing different words on our school exercise books to see what would be the best band name.
Yeah. Do you remember some of the other names?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have? Early days there was Meltdown.
Yeah, Meltdown. That's
Militia. We were sticking with the M theme. Very aggressive names.
Yeah.
It was more.
Meltdown Militia.
It was more hard rock than
rock.
it is now.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And how did WINTERBOURNE? What does it mean? Where did it? Yeah.
WINTERBOURNE is my auntie and my three cousins' surname.
Okay.
So we just stole it straight off.
Yeah, great.
Straight from them. People have since read in various meanings, but
Yeah.
those weren't
Incredible.
around when we started it.
And you guys came up through grinding, like busking was your real thing. You were going to Town Hall, Martin Place in Sydney.
Yep.
What was the schedule? Were you just there literally every weekend? Or?
Yeah, pretty much for a while we were. We started out in Martin Place and Town Hall, just wherever we could find, just literally two acoustic guitars. We didn't sing.
Yeah.
And then we found Pitt Street Mall, where our now very good friend Joe Moore was busking, and we saw him, and a band called Set Sail were there at the same time, and a bunch of other really good acts, and we stood there and watched them, and we're like, that's the sort of the pinnacle, and which it was, we now know.
Yeah.
And we went down the street and did the same thing with guitars, no vocals, and then from there just built it up until we were singing, and then plugging in, and then playing these full sort of street shows every Friday, Saturday, Sunday for a few years.
Incredible and very disciplined.
Yeah, it was crap. It was really hard to do because you had to get there really early in the morning, and to get a spot there were about 7 or 8 buskers that all wanted the best spot.
Oh wow!
And so
You're
it
like
was
brawling.
Yeah,
almost.
pretty much. It was just first come first serve, so you'd get there
Wow.
at 4 a.m. and sit on the street for 8 hours, and then eventually you'd play your set and then hopefully make some money. And yeah, we did that was our income for a good few years.
That's incredible. And evidently it paid off because that's how Universal picked you up, right?
Yeah, the A&R guy from Island Records was out to lunch and saw us busking, which is it's a classic story, but it was the real story. We had heaps of messages from people saying they knew the guy from Sony or whatever, and that maybe we should get a record deal. And so he sent us a message, and it was just another one of those. It was like, oh, hi, I'm the head of Island Records, and we're like, yeah, okay. And then he signed us. So,
Wow. Was it always a goal to get signed?
well, yeah, I guess. We didn't really know what the goal was for a while. When we got signed, we were trying to save up enough money to do an EP, but we didn't really know how. We were going to do it at the Grove, I think, we were looking at, and a few other places. We were just trying to figure out how it all worked. So we hadn't really thought about, let's go in and find a record company to get us signed. We hadn't said that was the goal. It was just, let's make music. Our career was the goal, and that we were very lucky that came along and just
Absolutely.
got us.
And they caught you at a time where, because you said there was a lot of genres that you guys explored as you grew up, right? And so at that point in time, was your sound similar to what it is now?
It was similar.
Yeah.
Like when we listen to our music that we've made in the last decade, it's easy for us to hear what in it is us and why the songs sound that way. But I think to people listening, it's so much more based around what instruments happen to be in the songs.
Yeah.
And when we were busking, we were, I mean, there was a big folk thing happening, like Mumford & Sons were huge, and we loved that whole scene. So we were very influenced by that. And at the same time, we were busking, and you can only play an instrument each. And you know, we can't take a full band down to the mall and play in them, but you can, but you know, we didn't want to split the money.
Yeah.
So Jordan learnt how to play drums on his feet.
Amazing.
Well, like a kick pedal and a tambourine. And so the songs then started to form more around, you know, you're limited in what you can do beat-wise.
Yeah.
And the sound was a bit more acoustic, folky.
Yeah.
Because of those reasons, basically. And then now we kind of have a mixture of that acoustic stuff and the stuff that Meltdown were producing.
Yeah.
Which was just full-on rock music.
Amazing. That's incredible. You said you have a lot of creative freedom with the label, which is pretty cool. You know, lots of people don't. So in saying that, let's say you wanted to go in a new direction. Do you think you could? Like, not right now, but maybe in a couple of years or things like that, you know? Do you think you'd be able to?
I think so, yeah. I really don't know.
So
our relationship with our label is very much, the guy who signed us is a good friend of ours. We go to dinner and chat about music, and so we've never really had the relationship that a lot of people have, where it feels like it's just a big company, and you're desperately trying to get them to read your emails or anything. So we're very lucky in that regard. I don't think it's a very good example of what it's like to be signed to a major label.
Yeah.
We had big discussions with everybody, had some advice to give when we first started talking about the contract and whether we should sign to a big label. And we had another offer that was a smaller label and cooler, and it's like, what do you do? And I don't think we've ever really found out, because our relationship with the label is so different, and we've kind of got the best of both worlds, which is
that's awesome.
Super
Personal,
lucky,
but also major.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so
what
I
I
think
wanted to ask
fine with
you
us.
is how did it feel, like that day when, you know, it was all sort of starting to happen and then the contract came along? How did it feel?
Very good. Felt very good. It did feel very good. We bought boots.
Yep.
That was the day we signed.
The day we signed, we bought boots.
Okay.
I think we bought boots when
agreed to sign.
Matching boots?
It was several days. it was over a period of
Yeah.
time. It wasn't one mega day.
Yeah, 1 mega day.
Yeah,
It would have felt like a blur though, because everything ramped
It
up.
was 9 months.
Yeah, right.
It was 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took us to Bali. We did a songwriting camp in Bali. We were 18,
cool.
and they
Not the Beyonce one.
I don't think so.
Okay.
She wasn't there.
There is. I know there's a major Beyonce songwriting camp in Bali. Not that.
Right. No, she wasn't there. No.
Just drop that one.
Yeah.
So, we co-wrote with Beyonce.
That was their idea. So it was all just felt bigger than us and really exciting, and they had money to give us, and it was all that. We got an advance, and we got to buy instruments and things.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
It was for two 18-year-olds, it was crazy.
Yeah, incredible. All right, what do you think it means to be an artist? That's my philosophical question.
You got the mic, mate.
Oh, what do you mean?
It's easy.
What do you mean it's easy?
So easy.
Yeah, without the mic. What do you think? Is that all you're going to say?
Yeah, that's it. What do you think it means? Well, you're both artists. What do you think it means to be an artist? You know, you could put genuine artist in there if you wanted to, but just at the basic core of that question, like, what does it mean?
I don't know. The word artist is I struggle to say it to describe myself, because but I do I accept that we are artists, so it's a bit of a weird one. I think it's a creative person, people who are creatively driven and create things, and which we've always considered ourselves to be, but until we were actual musicians, I don't think we would have referred to ourselves as artists. So I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think it's always emotional? Do you think all art is emotional?
Depends what you're defining as art.
Yeah, well, that's
think.
a whole big thing. Well, just in the basis of what in your life, you know, you guys are musicians, you call yourself artists. Would you say your music is always coming from emotions, or sometimes do you just feel quite heady with it, and it's like maybe more of a calculated process? It's like, oh, like, okay, we're making a song and like we're going to do the pre here and then blah blah blah, or is it quite cathartic for you both with your songwriting?
Yeah, I mean, it's both.
It's both.
It's
yeah.
both. Our thing has always been we feel like we have this. We either like something or we don't. Generally, when we're making music, it's always been that way for whatever reason. I think as we've learnt stuff, you start to calculate more because you can and you learn and you should do that. So I think it's just best to have a mixture of like, you don't want to listen to someone just singing their emotions.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
If it's not good,
Yeah.
whatever good is, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's we've never. Once you start thinking about it too much, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess you could say, if for someone like us, it's just if you never consider any other option. That's the main thing we've always described it as. It's like, when did you know you were going to be songwriters? It's like, we really didn't. Like, it's not an exaggeration to say that. Like, we didn't think about it. We just knew that, first of all, we liked guitar, so we started playing guitar.
Yeah.
Then we recognised in songs what we liked about them and realised we could imitate that. And then you realise when you're imitating stuff, bits of you start to come out through the imitation.
Yeah.
And then you just keep doing that, and it becomes super addictive, and that's literally what we're still doing. So
Yeah, incredible.
I think it's a weird thing, because people talk about how music is them expressing themselves and how emotional it is, and from that I kind of always thought about it as, well, they just open their mouths and out comes creativity, you know. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone do something like that. Like, we've written with heaps of people, and not once has someone just felt something and gone, yeah, this is how it's going. It's always calculated and always thought about. I just think, as you were saying, the inspiration to actually do it is the feeling part. Whereas
But do you think that's in a
is
more professional environment, perhaps? Because I think the more professional you become, then it's less about like just feeling something. But when you first start out, I think it is a more of an emotional process when you first start out, maybe, because you're kind of digging inside of you, and you are just going, blah, like guitar, yeah, blah,
Yeah.
and falling out of me, blah, you know. And then as you grow, then you refine the craft, as you say, and then you can get it more calculated. So it's probably both.
Yeah, it's both all the time.
Interesting. Do you guys party? Because you put off a vibe that you don't, and I just wanted to know, like, what's
Do we party?
Yeah.
We can party down. We
can party.
I mean, we've been to a few discos in our time.
certainly, yeah.
Yeah. James agrees.
Because, you know, rock and roll has got like that huge stigma with like drinking and coke and all the things, and it's like, do you reckon it's just like dead? Like, do you reckon the new wave of musos coming up are just kind of realising that's lame? Or what's your experience?
Not in our experience.
No, really?
Certainly not.
Not in your.
No.
Oh,
Countless occasions we were high on cocaine.
okay, fine. Okay. No, I don't want to break anybody's views of what the music business is like.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it still exists. It's still a thing. I don't think it. It depends who you talk to. It depends on the bands. I mean, the people doing pretty tame folk rock from the Central Coast aren't the ones to ask about it. We're not Keith Richards, and we don't plan to be. You don't have the mic, mate.
So funny. Okay, you've made a wonderful film called Revolutionary. How did you come up with the title? Was it from a song or what?
So it's called Revolutionary Film, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked, because it was a nightmare. And on like 2 days before we sent it to the guy who was turning it into a cinema package, we decided it was the wrong name and we should change it. We have a song called Revolutionary Man, and it's taking that concept and it's being a film instead. We were going to change it to Revolutionary Man, because it's revolutionary man. It's not about a man. But then
like revolutionary, comma, man.
That's exactly
like,
right.
Yo.
And it's complicated stuff, I know, but that's what it is.
That's hilarious.
No, the idea was it's revolutions in terms of cycles. It's not. Our whole thing, I think, with that song and in general is everybody's very quick to say that they act revolutionarily, or that they are a revolutionary, or that their music's revolutionary. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, very few people say that about their own music, but you hear it said, and we've always felt that that's just not. It doesn't work that way. So that's one side of it, and then the other side is a theme that comes up in the film a lot is revolutions and starting again and doing things better and growing and all that stuff.
Absolutely. And how did you swing across from music to film? Like, where did the idea come from?
We did some music at the Metro Theatre. We did a tour for our album, and the whole time we were recording the album, we weren't thinking about making a film about it. We were just kind of thinking about all the themes that were in the album, like those revolutions and that weird, especially coming up on the Metro show, that weird feeling of accomplishing our biggest dream when we were busking was the Metro Theatre, because we used to walk past it, physically used to walk past it and look at it and say, we're going to play there one day.
Yeah.
So getting to that point in our lives and not feeling like we'd done this big thing and questioning our entire careers constantly. Yeah. That was the process that we were going through when we were doing the album and when we were touring it. So, and then we had all this footage from the Metro Theatre show, which was, we were meant to have a few songs worth, and we had pretty much the whole show. Yeah. So we started putting together just a normal concert sort of film, and then that got a little bit, we just kind of felt like that was a bit meaningless. It was a bit like, sure, we're putting out our live show onto YouTube, but we could also weave in all this other stuff that we've been thinking about and all these themes from the album, and it was just weaving in all that fictional stuff, and it just kind of grew. It was like, it wasn't let's sit down and make a film out of this. It was, let's film this and put that at the start, and then that can go here.
Let's piece together.
Suddenly it was,
because the stylistic choice was super interesting. It was semi-feature, semi-documentary. Like, it felt scripted in parts. I was like, is this a cinema verite film? Like, what's going on? So explain, how did the style come about?
I'll pack the van. Because you at least need to be able to make sense of your own story. Well, we've got a great story. You already know the story. Busk on the street for a few years, get signed by a major label, release an EP, then an EP, then an album, sing along to yourself on the radio, headline Glastonbury, sell out Wembley, become the biggest band in the world, and then star in a film about yourself directed by Edgar Wright.
Style Man.
In Style Man.
Not sure. So we had almost the whole thing done, as Jordan was saying, in turn, like the show was all there, and we've started weaving ideas together about how we could film in different places, and then when COVID happened and we suddenly had a lot of time on our hands, I'm not sure what it was. I think we were just watching it, and the idea. I love the to camera thing. I think that's and we I told Jordan to watch 24 Hour Party People. I don't know if you've seen that. It's can't remember whose film it is, but it's got Steve Coogan in it, and it's a history of the Manchester music scene, and he talks to camera.
Right.
And so that was in my head. Scripted. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to a point. I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's written. It's a feature. And so that was the idea, and it gives you, it takes you out of look at our band. Look how much we've done. Yeah. Because we were trying to find a way of like, how do you. It's something that feels like it's really meaningful to us, but why would anyone care? Like, that's always been our thing. Like, it's so hard to care about someone else's life, and you don't really need to. Yeah. And so for us, we're these two dudes who started in a mall, and now we're playing this show, and 1,300 people came and sang the words to our songs. Like, that's mind-blowing to us. And so to try and get across that fact without it being, look at this thing we did, which is what the film says at the start. Like, it's not a big enough show to make a rockumentary about. It's just pathetic. Like, people are playing to 100,000.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's incredible. Yeah. So we couldn't get away with doing it. Yeah. Oh my God, look at their amazing journey. Yeah. Or maybe we could, but we wouldn't like it. So
but do you think the bigger picture was to inspire other artists that they can play at the Metro too? Like, what was the bigger picture? Or was it just to document?
Our thing is almost always with music and with everything is would our 15-year-old selves love it? Because that's kind of when we were at the peak of our dreaming. Yeah. When we were that age. And so they're our harshest critics. And I think when we're making something which also ties into the idea of the film. That's kind of what we test ourselves against, and hopefully people of that age and people who are looking to play shows and make music, I can't imagine it wouldn't be in some way inspiring. I think it would be. So
absolutely. So you're going to make another movie? Is this going to be an ongoing? Is this going to be ongoing, like Winterbourne production house sort of?
You need more views.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've never wanted to just do music, like, and that's all we want to do. Like, we make our own music videos and our own artworks and things like that. We've never just been, let's just record and write and play shows. So we'll do as much as we can.
Amazing. So what's the next, just to tie it back into the metro and venues, what's the next venue then? What's the next goal?
Wembley, I guess. It's Wembley next.
Yeah, I believe that's what we decided on.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough at the moment. We're not even in that touring mentality at the moment, because we've just done it, and we've really done it we've done it twice because we made a film about it. So we did the tour and then we went and relived that over and over again. So now it's just kind of about getting back to what are we going to release next and how we're going to sound and where it's going to go from there. We can't tour at the moment anyway, so it's kind of like, let's just focus on what we can control. But hopefully we always want to go forwards. Like, that's the main thing of just getting bigger every time that we do a tour. We don't want to take a step back and go smaller.
So fame doesn't scare you?
Wow. Well, yeah, wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know.
No.
Well, if you want to go bigger, it's like implying that, like, whatever heights need to come is welcome.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends on the type of fame, you know. If it's
exactly.
If it's well earned and it's the thing that we've been building towards the whole time, then there's nothing wrong with that.
What do you think about fame? in general, as a concept, like, what do you think?
Again, it's hard to sort of have any sort of authority on the topic because we aren't famous, but I think we've always had, to the degree that we are recognised, it's always such a pleasant experience because we're so grateful that someone has noticed us, and it's never like, oh, I saw that guy on TV, because we're not on TV. So it's like, I listened to your album at night, and that's never anything except amazing to hear that, because that's what made us do it in the first place, was listening to people's albums. And I think we'll be able to say if our next single is a worldwide smash as is planned. Spoilers. I think we'll be able to keep our feet on the ground. Yeah. My thing is always, I would love to be given the opportunity to prove that. Yeah.
You must have an opinion about it, you know. I don't know, I'm just saying Billie Eilish because I'm just nothing in comparison to you guys, but just in music sense, but in sense of how famous she is. Like, just your opinion about those heights and like the fact that is even possible. Like, do you think that's awesome or questionable or like healthy, or like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends what you do with it. I mean, in cases like Billie Eilish, Ed Sheeran, it's like the numbers are just ridiculous. Like everyone knows who they are. You can ask anyone anywhere.
It's crazy.
So then it's like, how can you possibly make honest music from that scenario? And so we would try to be conscious of that if that was to ever happen to us, but we don't have any, we're not bitter about people reaching those heights. It can only be challenging. I'm not really jealous of those people. I'm just like, I appreciate that it would be really difficult but also amazing. So
absolutely.
But also with those two examples, like those two people had the ability to back it up. Like it's not like they went huge and then were like, oh, what are we going to do next? It's Billie Eilish, I think, has just managed to thrive. Like, she's made her own sound, and I mean, Ed Sheeran has gone ballistic. But since he got massive, he's got massive. So he's just had the talent and the ability to be famous and still make music that he loves. So
absolutely,
I think those are examples. Those are good examples of good levels of fame.
And there's no alternative that we know of now anyway. Like, that structure, that pyramid is kind of all, it works, and it's all we have right now. You know, some people might get to that top and they're like, oh, I'm so isolated, I have to hang out with Katy Perry now because she gets me, you know. And it's like we don't know any other way. So
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted your thoughts on that. What kind of music do you think the world needs now, especially like with everything that's going on? It's crazy times. Yeah, what kind of music do you think the world needs?
Oh, great question. Do you have an answer? Just something honest. just honest.
So true.
Please elaborate.
No, that's it. That's
it.
I don't think you could say a genre.
Absolutely.
I think, I don't know, even that answer could be terrible. I don't know if that's even true. Maybe dishonest.
Good music.
Maybe dishonest.
Just disingenuine. you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
Just a bit of money making, you know. The world needs that right now, you know.
No, I think you're right there. You know, authenticity. You know, people throw the word around originality a lot. They're like, oh, they're just desperate to be original. But like, you'd take authenticity over originality any day, because creating like something brand new, but it can be inauthentic. You could do the same genre that's been done a million times, but as long as it's honest and authentic.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting now because it's and it's such a like a, I don't know, modern thing to say, but everybody can put out music. It's crazy that everybody can record really good sounding music and then put it out. Yeah. So I think there's just so much of it, and I think that honesty thing comes into it, or that authenticity thing, where if you've got that specific ability to use the sound and that specific thing to say, and you're doing it because you want to make that happen, not because you want to join in. Yeah. I think that's really important, because I reckon there are so many people like you see on YouTube and things like that, and not knocking people on YouTube, but that just join in with the thing. They can put out a song if they want to, and that's cool, but I don't think we need any more. It just feels cluttered. And I think there's some good stuff can come out of that, but I think it's just finding the ones that have something authentic going on.
Authentic to say. Yeah, cool.
Less music might be a good answer.
Yeah.
Less music.
Everyone just take a second.
Everyone just take a second.
Yeah.
Just some nice silence, global silence. That'd be cool.
And no songs about COVID. I mean, I'm just gonna. I don't want to hear.
Has someone done that?
Like, probably. Just, I think I've heard.
It's kind of like the movie business now. Have you seen how many films about COVID?
Oh, really?
Oh, it's weird. It's so weird.
It's just, I don't think we need.
A lot of feature films coming out about viruses. It's strange.
Yeah.
What do you guys love about the Central Coast? Because you're still here.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. Thanks for rubbing that in.
Yeah, see, Mum? Hey, Coast is sick.
Hey guys, why do you hate going anywhere else?
Coast is sick. Why do you love it?
Yeah, we've always loved it because we do a lot of our work in Sydney. I mean, there's unfortunately not a lot of stuff to do on the coast musically. There's not a lot of venues, and there have been a couple pop up, but it's mainly just Sydney. So this is the perfect little way station to Sydney, I guess. When we're going to Sydney every morning, it's an hour or a bit less for James, and we can do our stuff in the city, and we were very much in the heart of the city, and neither of us are particularly big fans of big city like Sydney. So leaving there and coming back somewhere with a bit of space is just really nice, and I think we've always just felt like it's nice and spacious. And
so you appreciate nature?
Yeah,
okay, interesting. The venue thing is a huge problem for the coast. Like, it would just be, I think we talked about it in the studio the other time, but just imagine if there was a Metro Theatre or Factory.
Or not even that, just like a 300 cap or just a good, solid, get people here venue. It's sort of a weird, we're losing to Newcastle. It's becoming such this little middle town that's not really establishing itself.
Why do you think people haven't clued on? Why isn't someone, like, we've got the Rhythm Hut, like, but why isn't there any more venues, do you think?
I'm not sure.
Genuinely, no idea.
No idea.
I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult to have a venue anywhere. That's the vibe I get. I don't really know much, but people seem to do it. Like Jordan was saying, in Newcastle, there seems to be a bit of a scene developing. So, it's hard, I think, for the coast as well. It's hard for the coast because there's no sort of central part of the coast. We're so big, we sprawl everywhere. So it's kind of, you put a venue in Wyong, it's sort of expecting people to come
from
Exactly.
international artists to go to Wyong. It's sort of a weird thing, whereas at least Newcastle has this city centre, which Gosford is sort of trying to become,
Yeah.
I think. But we've always wanted Gosford to be this unbelievable place to be.
All it needs is to turn Froggies
Yeah, exactly.
into a mad, grungy
That
warehouse.
waterfront could be amazing.
It would be incredible, wouldn't it? Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say on that. Do you have any advice for people just starting out in music, especially like young musos on the coast who are chasing their dreams?
Yes, we do. Yeah, like I was saying before, it's hard because we've been on a very specific sort of path, and even just from people we know, there's so many different avenues and ways of doing things, obviously. For us, it like we were saying before, it's never been anything except an addiction, really, of like playing guitar or playing whatever instrument and eventually then writing songs. So I think what we usually say is figure out what it is to you when you can, when you know. Is it like, does it feel like something you have to do, or does it feel like something that's calculated, which is still fine?
Yeah.
But then that'll mean you have a different approach. So if you're going to be, say, putting out a song a month on Spotify and that's your goal, or if your goal is to just write some songs, then that you need very different advice. So yeah, it's interesting as well because we still need advice. Like we're still asking lots of questions all the time. You don't really ever figure it out, I don't think.
No.
We've learnt a lot in terms of like making songs and getting what we want out of the industry when we need it. But I mean, at the same time, we're not the biggest band in the world, so we still have so much to learn.
Because there's no clear path.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the only thing that keeps you going, if that's what you want to do, is genuinely loving doing it. At least that's our experience. Busking is a great like magnifier of that, because we, like Jordan was saying, we had to leave at 4 a.m. sometimes and drive.
That's incredible.
And sit in the cold, and that was literally like just watching yourself go through that so that you could play songs for an hour and make heaps of money. But that really made it obvious to us. There was no question then. Like, we left uni to do that. So without really sitting down and going, let's leave uni to pursue this. It was just like, it was there, and we just kept doing it. And maybe the good advice is to find something like that. I don't know, whether it's gigging or playing live on locals or whatever, just start doing it and see if it catches you.
Doing it's the advice.
Yeah.
We've said that a few times, but just keep doing it.
Just do it.
I think as well, the people that stay in the consciousness and that you keep seeing everywhere are the people that just keep doing it, and they keep popping up, and
don't
it just
sleep.
becomes not even that, but like you see them you'll not hear of them for a year, and you'll see them playing at Pocket Bar or whatever, and you'll go, oh yeah, cool, you're still doing your thing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You just become part of the landscape, which is where you want to be. So
That's cool.
Doing it is the advice.
Oh, awesome. Oh, well, thanks guys.
Done.
It's been a pleasure
Thanks
talking
for having us
on
in
this
your
mountain.
office.
Yep. My backyard.
Yeah.
You don't get this in Sydney.
No, not a single cliff in Sydney.
Not a single tree.
No, exactly.
Or a bush turkey inside.
Exactly. We've had about 25.
Yeah.
It's great. Now they've all disappeared.
Too many, I would say.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.